Mic check. Welcome to another episode of Check That Post. Did you miss us? Well, we missed you.
Definitely, yes.
We hope y'all enjoyed y'all holidays.
Yes.
And if you believe in so-called New Year, Happy New Year. If you
Happy
don't,
New Year.
hey. So we are back with another episode of Check That Post podcast. Tonight's topic is a topic that we've covered before, but I wanted to cover it again in light of what's come out. But before we get into that, it's about the Hate You Give 2.0. Because we're getting a lot of hate out here, us women, and we want to get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
Why do you think we get so much hate? And it's not just black women, it's all race, women in general.
Right.
So tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to start off with the Dear Jen letters. So, and then we'll get into our topic of conversation. Okay? We're a little rusty. We've been on vacation.
Bear with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Dear Jen, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing you tonight, though I confess my thoughts are heavy indeed. Lately I've been struggling to find peace as the news is filled with stories of violence against women. As a woman living alone, these stories hit close to home. They've planted a seed of fear that grows stronger each time I hear of another tragedy. I love my independence and cherish the life I've built for myself, but lately the comfort of my own space feels like a fragile shield. I find myself double-checking locks, avoiding dark streets, and hesitating to venture out after sunset. I know what you mean. Even in my apartment, I catch myself listening for sounds that shouldn't be there, my heart racing at every unexpected noise. I can't shake the questions. Am I doing enough to protect myself? Am I being paranoid? Or is it just the reality for women like us? It feels unfair to live in fear, but the headlines remind me that the risks are real. I'm reaching out to you because I need your advice. How do you stay safe while living in your own life? What precautions can I take that will give me both security and peace of mind? Are there tools, habits, or strategies that have worked for you or others you know? More than anything, I don't want to let fear control me. I want to feel empowered, not trapped. I know I can't predict or prevent every possible danger, but I believe in the power of preparation and community. Please share any wisdoms or suggestions you have. Your guidance would mean so much to me right now. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Just writing this letter has given me a sense of hope that I'm not alone in navigating this. With gratitude and hope, Tasha. Well, Tasha, we appreciate you writing that letter.
Yes, definitely.
And a lot of the things that you said are on all of our minds. Don't mean that you have to live in fear. You definitely don't have to live in fear.
Right.
You deserve to live your life to the fullest.
Right.
and feel safe doing so. There's many things that you could do to protect yourself and your family member, or just to feel confident in your own space.
Right.
And we'll get into that. But I want to ask the question of you ladies. Have y'all heard of the group text, or maybe it's a page of 70,000 men discussing things to do to women?
Yeah, I've heard of it, and that it was, a little, I ain't gonna say a little, it was very disturbing. I have not seen any physical evidence, of any of it, but to even just hear about it, it's just alarming to know that something like that is going on at this day and time, when us as women, we most of the time are looking to men as our, protectors,
Right.
the people that we rely on to make sure, that no harm is coming our way. It's the men that we're looking to for this, because we know that, the men are the one that carries, the physical strength. When it comes to, male versus female. Of course, the man is stronger than the female.
Yeah.
So, when we are thinking about, our safety and whatnot, where if we have a mate or a father or brother or uncle, whatever it may be, we're looking to them, as our savior or as our hero, as our, somebody that we can confide in, to be that safety net for us. And, to know that, the very people that we look to for that are the people that are, planning or, trying to come up with ways to do the opposite of what we're looking for them to do, or looking for them to be. It's just scary. Again, I haven't seen any physical evidence of it, but just to learn or to hear about it and to know that something like that is happening or could be happening is just alarming for me, for my family members, my daughter, even, my son too, like, regardless, because he's a male and he could be caught up in that same group chat or whatever it is specifically, and I don't want him to be a part of it or get caught into it, and get in the same mindset of those people that are within that group. So I feel like I'm going on and on. So Margaret, I'm gonna let you go, but again, to me, it's just very, very alarming. It's scary for me. When I learned that information, it made me, of course, want to be more on guard, get more precautions and stuff in place just in case anything was to happen unexpectedly.
Absolutely. I haven't heard of that either. Like Tina was saying, any physical evidence. Not saying that it's not out there, but
Right.
definitely, if somebody is hearing about it, then somebody is trying to do something. And a lot of what Tina has stated already, I feel the same way, and we definitely, as women, we have to get on board and help be protectors of one another. Not just getting together and for just a minute there, but just have that group thing going where we looking out for each other, because we really don't know who we have around us.
Right.
When we leave our homes in the morning time, going to work or wherever, school or wherever, We don't grow up having grown up in a place, household with other people, so everybody have a different agenda when they leave their homes to get to wherever. So we want to be on guard, and we need, our women sisters that is gonna be with us to stay in guard. That they not gonna just, walk by and see a male being disrespectful to us or trying to, manhandle us on the streets or wherever, in the workplace or whatever, but that there'll be a group of women that stands up and say, no, that's my sister, and if you do her like that, you'll certainly do me like that, and so we have to band together, because we're trying to raise our sons how to be loving men, to raise them and how to love their wives, significant others, their children, and help bring them up to be very wise and how to love the women that are in their lives.
Right. Well, basically what it was is a group chat, 70,000 men, and they was talking about degrading things that you could do to, or they wanted to do possibly to even their own family members, mothers, wives, daughters, and I believe some of them were sons. But anyway, it came about, however it came about. But we're not just talking about that, we're talking about the incidents where the women were set on fire in the subway. And not just that,
Heard about that.
where men, they say I do, and they just flip after they say I do, and just start talking crazy to the person that they married, that they said they're gonna honor and care for, love and support the rest of their lives. They just flip. So my question is, what do you think is the root cause of men just losing their ever-loving mind, for the lack of other words? And Tasha, I ain't forgot about your question. I'm gonna get to that. But this is a serious, very serious topic, because it's happening right now today. It's okay for you to be afraid. It's okay. You don't have to be, but it's okay that you are. The thing is, you want to focus on not on the fear, but doing whatever you need to do to protect yourself. You're doing the right thing by double checking your logs, and we all know that there's things that you can purchase for protection. Do what you need to do, and I will advise that you do that. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't be in your phone when you get out the car. And this for any woman out there. We know that there's an attack on all women. If you got a uterus, you are under attack. But for the life of me, I don't understand, where did this all, how did we get here? Because if it wasn't no woman, there could be no man. So how did we get here? How did we get to the place where women giving their all to the opposite sex, and then they wear this mask to get what they want, and then once they get what they want, then they treat them like they ain't trash, or lower than trash. And we're not saying all men is like this. I know all men is not like this. But what's coming out today, here in 2025, and we just left out of 2024, it's been going on. It's just coming out now. For someone to degrade someone of the opposite sex, and it's not just the opposite sex, so I can't just say that, but we're talking about women, because they are the weaker sex. why is it that some men of today, treating women so horrible? Because the way the plan was for the man to be the one that's taking care of the woman, being in charge of the household. Back in the day, men took care of all that.
Right.
They was proudful. They was happy to do it.
Absolutely.
What happened? How did the script get flipped?
Right.
Where he wants to be the one to be taken care of.
Yeah, it's definitely it definitely seems like there's been a changeover.
Yes. Is it the food?
The woman.
I mean, I really want to know.
Where the woman, it does seem like the woman is becoming more masculine, and she's putting that feminine part aside because she's having to step up and do everything.
Yes.
So I'm not sure, where it comes from, or how, it got to where, the roles are kind of slowly reversing, but in my opinion, it's not okay. We need to get back to that. Get back to how it's supposed to be. And I'm not just saying like, I'm not just speaking on finances, not just saying that the man should pay all the bills and, that the woman should just cook and clean and that's it. That's not what I'm saying. But when it comes to even just being the protector, just starting there, like when I think about being in a relationship with somebody, I'm thinking about, do I feel safe with this person? Do I feel like, and not just from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint as well. Do I feel, vulnerable enough to open up, and tell him how I feel about, the way he speaks to me? He might speak to me in a certain kind of manner, and, I have to be, I have to feel vulnerable enough to be like, okay, look, come to him and be like, hey, this is how I feel, but if I feel like, if that man makes me feel like he gonna be like, girl, shut up, like, don't nobody care about that, ain't nobody trying to hear all that, then I'm not gonna come to you and be that, so if I don't feel safe enough to come to you like that, then, I'm not gonna, that's not somebody I'm gonna consider like a man, like a man's man. Like that's not gonna be somebody that I would consider a partner for me if I can't come to you in that safe space and be like, hey, I feel like this. If I can't tell you how I feel and you can't tell me how you feel, and I feel like even as friends, with friendships and with family members as well, if y'all can't come to each other and just feel safe with one another, whether it's male or female. I know we're talking about the males right now, but whether it's male or female, you still should have that safety net to where you can come and just spew out whatever you need to do. Y'all have that powwow, whatever, going back and forth, where there's just listening, being that listening ear for that person, or you having that input and giving them something to take back with them, which is usually how it should go, but when it comes to that male aspect, I need to feel safe. I need to feel safe mentally, physically, and yes, you have to, be able to provide in some kind of aspect. I don't want to have to, everything be relied upon me. Now, yeah, if something happens, you lose your job, and I have to step up to the plate, then yes, I'm gonna do that. But I ain't trying to be, carrying the load for, years and years and years while you just sitting back chilling. And that's what it seems like a lot has been doing, just sitting back chilling like, oh, she got it, so I'm finna do me, for a little bit, and then when she get tired of it, then that's when I'm gonna get back on it. And that's not okay for me. I feel like a real man gonna be like, look, I see you carrying this, and I hate that you carrying this right now. I'm about to do everything. I'm gonna continue to do everything in my power to make sure you're not carrying this alone. So that's my opinion of it. I just feel like, yes, the roles are reversing. I hate that they're reversing. I just want to do everything in my power to make sure that communication stays open. You know, if when I'm there with my partner and I feel like I'm unsafe, or or we're in an unsafe situation, I feel like I'm not being provided for, protected, then I'm gonna have that conversation with my partner, and we're gonna have to adjust some things, whether it be out of the relationship, or whether it be we just have to I take a step back so you could take a step forward. I don't know. Whatever it may be, we just gonna have to keep that open communication so we can figure out, why is this changing, and how can we get it back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it starts with the self-esteem is very low for our men, and so a lot of times our men are not gonna have that job that pays six figures,
Right.
and a lot of the times you have to accept until he can do better, but don't make him feel bad,
Right.
because he's not maybe not have the education to have where he's making the six figure at that time, But I believe that if you work together and you keep lifting each other up,
Right.
because there's so many things that we can be so down on each other, and we don't need to do that. And I think as mothers, when we have our sons, one of the things that we always do is we do show them a lot of love and appreciation for the things that they do when they're little young boys, and then when they grow up, it's sometimes they get that less because they're so excited and happy just to get mom's approval,
Right.
And even when they start going through their adolescent years, we still got to give them those same praises, and maybe perhaps go up a little bit on the praise, because we're looking to produce men, boys that will become men, and they will be whole. We don't need boys into men and they are broken, because it does affect their thought process. And so I'll say that a lot of the times is generated on how they are treated, and mostly it's coming from how did my mom treat me, in the household,
How they raised.
But as far as them wanting to stay home and the woman get out and work, I'm like Christina, no. Now if you was sick, that was a different thing. But you just laying out and not doing anything, because if I was at home, I wouldn't just be washing and cleaning. I'd be finding other stuff to do to be productive with my hands, so that I can generate cash flow in the house. Not just I'm just there watching the TV all day long, because it don't take all day long to cook or clean, cook and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't take that long, So, but yeah, I would want to have the person work, and we both work. And the more you put your brains together and work that thing together, and I really believe that you can go far in life.
Yeah, the easier things will be. The more you work together, the easier things will be.
Yes.
Definitely. And I totally agree with that. It's about, a lot of it stems from, how they're raised as well. Because, if your mom, wasn't showing you that love, then, when you go out here in the world, then, you might be going out here in the world looking for that, but you're not really expecting it because you know you never got it.
Right.
And then you got some that are out here, you know, they're looking for it. They're kind of expecting it as well because they're like, you know, I ain't got it all this time, so like, you know, it's gonna come somewhere. As long as I keep giving it, or as long as I keep doing this, or dishing out money, or paying for this, or however you do it, you know, then you're just thinking that you're gonna get it back. But
Right.
you know, a lot of times it is self-esteem as well. It's just coming from within. And usually, you know, if it's a man that's secure within himself, you know, you don't have to tell him how to, you know, you gotta tell a man how to be a man. I'm
Right.
sorry, like,
That part.
like I ain't you'll never have to tell a man how to be a man. It's just instilled in him. So, and if you some men or some males are raised by women, you know, so they don't have the male aspect that they need, teaching them how to be a man. So I'm not saying that, you know, a woman can't raise a man, but I'm saying that there are certain aspects and things that a man can teach his son that a woman cannot teach him. And or there just are ways that, you know, the son will pick it up different from coming from his father than he would coming from his mom, because the man has already experienced it. If a woman hasn't experienced it and she's just telling her son about, you know, something that he's gonna go through, then he of course he's not gonna, you know, take it that serious, because he like, this is not something that she's been through. How can she tell me about something she's never experienced? But if your dad has already experienced this and he's telling you, look, son, you're gonna go through this, you're gonna go through that, and when you start seeing that stuff come to pass, you're gonna be like, oh, my father already prepared me for this. I already know this. So, again, I feel like, you know, that has something to do with it, having that male figure coming up, showing you how to be a man, as well as the mothers, you know, how your mother treats you, and being in previous relationships.
Right.
You know, you can have been scarred from, you know, the way that a woman talks to you, or, you know, the way that, you know, you could have been abused before in previous relationships. So now, you know, you just carry that from every relationship here on out, just thinking that every woman that you're gonna be with from now on is gonna put their hands on you, or is gonna talk crazy to you because the woman that you dated last, or, you know, the previous 2 women have been physically abusive. So now you think that all women are like that now, but that's not the case. So just like, you know, women can't just assume that, oh, all men are the same, you know, all men just want one thing. Like, no, we can't say that. We can't put all men in the same category, just like they can't put all of us in the same category as well. So it comes from a lot of different places. We're not men, so, you know, we can't say, you know, where it comes from specifically, because we're not men. But in my opinion, you know, those things, what you mentioned, you know, as well, all does have a play in, you know, why these males are having such ill will, or, you know, ill feelings toward other women. And income, definitely, that one definitely has a big play in it as well.
Right. But even with the income thing, it's all according to a lot of how we as females are receiving what the male is dishing out. We have a right to say no. I'm not gonna put up with this.
Right, yeah.
But a lot of the times it's just the thought of, oh, well, we got a man. And so a lot of times we're willing to just accept that and just emotionally feel our thoughts with, oh, well, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. And so a lot of times that 6 months might turn into a complete year.
Right.
But as female, because we have learned a lot that we're just not a half of a helpmeet in the relationship. We go all in as women, but it's still what we will allow to happen, in the relationship that we're in, and so there's a lot of compromise and, could be in that, and also, at I hear a lot of the younger females. They always it's more to them like they just want a lot of buy me this, buy me that, buy me this, buy me that. I want this, I want that, and I want you to get it for me,
Yeah.
And a lot of times they feel like that they can't, meet up to the things that she's asking for, because she want the house note paid, the car note paid, then she want all these extravagant gifts. Well, yeah, all of that, Yeah, she's high maintenance, and so sometimes you gotta not have all that. Sometimes
Or go get it yourself.
or go get it yourself,
Right.
yeah, and or learn how to do it yourself,
Right. Yep.
and bring some of the pressure down,
Right.
from the men, so they won't feel like
Absolutely.
that. Oh, we just gotta do this and gotta do that, to keep them on. Because
Right.
with me, at the end of the day, when you gotta take things off, it's still fake anyway. That's just me. That's just me. And I don't talk about too much on the fake stuff, because every, what they say, blue moon, I might go get my nails done, but my nails grow pretty good, so
Yeah.
I might go get them done, and I might put some extensions in my hair, but that's just like, sometimes I don't do a whole lot with that, but I do know that, people like that, and if you do like that, then you got to make sure that you have your own provision in trying to make those happen, and don't put so much of a high yoke on the man where he just got to do this and that, because at the end of the day, the important things is the ones that matter. Well, that you got a roof over your head, your utilities are paid, you got a car to drive, and you're being fed and all of that. So.
I'm glad you said it, because I have seen where, like, and it all boils down to priorities. But, like, people will, a guy will be like, oh, well, let me get your hair done, but instead of the girl saying, well, instead of you get my hair done, like, my light bill is like $200, so instead of, spending the $200 on my hair, let me get that $200 so I can pay my light bill, but then you wanna get your hair done, and then, you sitting in the dark because your lights are off, come on now, like, and then the dude, instead of him being like, well, is it anything else that you need, instead, he just like, oh, you have $200, okay, here, and then, now that your lights out, then if you do come back and ask for another $200, then he ain't got it because he already gave you the $200.
Use common sense, ladies.
Right, like, you definitely got to make sure that your priorities are together. Like, if you can't afford that $200 hairstyle, if you need somebody else to pay for your hairstyle, then you don't need a hairstyle.
Well, as I was doing my research, in the U.S. alone, nationwide, 81% of women have reported experiencing some type of harassment or assault in their lifetime.
Wow.
81%. Let that sink in. So, getting to the root, what you was just talking about, with a man dishing out for the woman, and then she turn around and get with somebody else and cause him to go into a rage. That could be potentially reason, I guess. I mean, you see it all the time on TV and on the news. This doctor, and I can't remember her name, but these men, and I forgot how many men it was, because I was reading so much and I was just digging and digging and digging. And the more I read, and the deeper I was getting, it's like going down a rabbit hole. But this doctor, these men grape, no, it wasn't grapes, grope, whatever the word is, you know this app. But she was a doctor, and they ran a train and just tore her apart. Like, you got to be, is it an ego thing? Like, is it, you know, I know I can't understand what's going through these men's minds, but even when you get on social media and listen to all these podcasts and these men just going off about these women. When I said that about the food, I wasn't joking, even though I laughed. It's got to be the food. That's the one thing every man have in common. They eating. The hormones that they're putting in the meats. It's got to be doing something to screw them up. Because it's too many of them. It's just happening too regular. I mean, to literally set another human being on fire and sit there and just look at them. And nobody's protecting, nobody's trying to put it out, nobody's tackling him, holding him down till authorities get there. They taking the phones out and recording. That's the life we live. That's our reality. Like, what the what? It's beyond me.
What the hell?
Thank you. But to say, I mean, this is just not okay. It's just not. It's enough to bring anxiety. It's enough to make you a little paranoid.
Right.
But we don't want to fall in the situation where anytime somebody of the opposite come toward us, we pulling out something and you know, and jumping at every sound, like Tasha was saying, you know. But how can you not? How can it? I mean, it's getting to the point where you got to. Everybody is suspect, even your own family members, because people wear masks. And sometimes you can see that mask slip, and when you see that mask slip, believe what you see. Don't sugarcoat it. Believe and be aware. Be focused and be aware. Because right now, to take chances on, oh, I didn't see what I thought I saw, it can cost you dearly. So pay attention. Put them phones down. Don't be out walking with your phone, not noticing your surroundings. Because if you give people an opportunity, they're going to take it. Take some self-defense classes.
Definitely. Get you some mace, some
whatever.
pepper
Anything
spray,
will work.
stun gun, taser, whatever,
Carry a brick.
pocket knife, all of it.
Anything. Pay attention to your surroundings.
Definitely. That's gonna be the most important thing right there. The thing that's gonna help you the most is to be paying attention to what's going on around you.
Learn how to use your tools. Hammer. I want to say some other stuff, but you know you can't. So y'all get my point.
Well, I think too that, you know, we don't know what this group is, other than it looks like it's evil. You know, and so if you are around people that's all y'all doing, you finding ways to inflict pain upon somebody, that is pure evil. And if that's what the men that are doing that have on their mind, if you join yourself to something like that, you become just like that person.
Right.
You might be intrigued to just see what they are doing, thinking that you're not gonna be pulled into it. But a lot of times when they get to talking, it can cast a shadow over you. And if you're not careful, that person that introduced you to the meeting or whatever, they gonna, it's like they'll be recruiters, and they gonna be, are you gonna get on tonight? We're gonna be in the chat or whatever. We doing this or we doing that, and you know they're gonna push you till you become one of them. And so you gotta have a strong mind that says, no, that's not how I was raised. You know, that's not godly life,
Right.
and I don't want to inflict pain on my sister, my mother, aunties,
Right.
you know, any of my female
Right.
friends or relatives, that you don't want to inflict that. But it's so easy to plant a seed and sow that seed, and if you're not careful, that seed is gonna come up because you give an ear to it,
Right.
and you keep listening to it. It's like a magnet. You keep running back to it. Let me see what they saying over here.
Yeah,
So you
and
gotta
with
be
that
careful.
being said, watch those kids as well.
Yes.
Because they're getting in them video games and all kind of stuff like that, and the tablets and stuff, all the little games and stuff, they're putting all that crap in that stuff. So pay attention to the games and the video games and stuff on the PlayStations and Xboxes, and on the iPads and stuff. All the little games and stuff that they're playing, make sure you're watching, paying attention to some of the stuff that's being said and done on those
Right.
games, because they are very, very dangerous, and people are coming up with more and more sick and sicker ways to reach our children. So.
I mean, something as simple as a video game. You in the video game telling that child to go do harm to their parents
Our sibling,
or to their sibling or even to themselves.
a baby.
Yeah.
Like, that's a spirit.
That's
It
sick.
is.
That's a
Yeah.
evil.
It's
A
Spirit.
demon. It's definitely a demonic
exactly what
spirit.
it is.
And like I mentioned about a lot of these podcasts, these men's on there just spouting all this, and I don't know if they doing it for clout or to think they look good,
That's
but
how they
all
really
this
feel.
hate that they spewing, and especially toward black women, because black women are quick to be voices. They're gonna say what they
They're gonna-
think and how they feel. So
They don't like that.
they exactly, they don't like for a woman to speak up. They want you to be submissive. That's the word they. We don't do that.
But that's crazy that they, for years,
We
they
don't
just
do
been
that.
taught that all that time, and really, we're being submissive to each other. You know, it's not just like, oh,
Right.
well, you're
You
the only
submit to
one.
me.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not like that.
Like he gonna step
Right.
on you. Like you gotta be
No.
like a mouse walking behind him,
No, we
head
don't
bowed,
walk
scared
beside
to
each
speak
other.
your mind.
No.
No, honey, you got a voice. You need to use it.
Right, you know. And so it's like, it's the same thing as when, you know, when God made Adam and Eve, you know, he told her up front, you know, that her husband was gonna rule over her. But her husband also knew that she was given to him to be a helpmeet to him.
Right.
You know, it was never to be that he was gonna control and beat her down like she doesn't have a willpower.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
You know, so yeah, people get it, you know, all twisted up because it's something that they want to do.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not intended. And if you ever notice, whatever God is doing, Satan is always coming along with his own plan. And when it deviates from what God is saying, then you know that it's something that's totally
Right.
off.
Right.
But I want to say, you know, to every female, no matter what race you are, you are somebody,
Yes.
and you matter.
Absolutely.
And don't let nobody else tell you that
Right.
you don't.
Man,
You
woman,
matter.
anybody.
Yes.
And Also, I want to mention, I read today about a group that's determined to, how can I say this? What was the word? Grope,
Mhm.
TikTok, grope, palm women so they can populate the earth because it's said that it's not enough of palm women. So it ain't just us black women. And our concern ain't just for black women. Our concern is for all women.
Right.
If you have a uterus, we're talking to you.
Yes.
Protect yourself by
Right.
any means necessary.
Yes.
And if it get to the point where you somewhere and you don't feel safe, and reach out to somebody.
Right.
Run, go somewhere where it's lights,
Mm-hmm.
where it's a crowd of people. Don't try not to get caught out. And it don't matter if it's after dark or in the daylight. They bold. They gonna do what they do anytime.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This woman was walking around in the store and a man was walking around behind her.
Recording.
And she was recording him and he was recording her from the back.
Yep.
And
Wow.
massaging himself.
Right.
Wow.
Right. All throughout the store. Following
Like,
her around.
this is where we at, y'all. How we get here? How?
Yeah.
How we get here, man?
Totally disgusting.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Totally.
You ain't got
disgusting.
no self-control.
Mhm.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
We need to do better.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do better. Y'all supposed to be protecting us. We are
Right.
vulnerable.
Right.
Yes.
We are soft.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your protection?
Right.
I mean, are you that weak of a man that, you know, you feel like you need to be protected? I'll protect you, but you got to protect me too. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on. What we doing?
Right.
We're in 2025, y'all. We need to do better. We're at a time now that we should be trying to come together as a people, and you ain't got to like me,
Mm-hmm.
but at least respect me.
Yeah.
You know, don't treat me like I'm dirt under your feet,
Right.
because I'm a female.
Right.
Like, this is the way I was born.
Right.
Same thing with the color situation.
Mhm.
This is the way I was born.
Right.
I can't do nothing about it. I wouldn't if I could.
Exactly.
I love me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no problem with me. You got a problem with me because the color I am. Like, that's stupid. That's just stupid.
Very.
Right.
I ain't got no problem with you being the color you are.
Mm-hmm.
On the inside, we all look the same.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Your color the same as mine. We came from the same Eve. Okay?
That's right.
Get over yourself.
Right.
What we doing, y'all? What we doing?
Definitely gotta do better.
Yep. And go back to learning how to love,
Right.
you know, like you say, respect.
Think about what we're here for. Like, think
Mhm.
about our purpose. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's
it's
so-
like people don't even know. It's
Right.
like, what are we even here for, guys? What are we
Right.
doing? Like,
People not even seeking out their purpose if they don't know their purpose.
don't
They
even
too busy
care.
doing other stupid stuff.
Mhm.
Like, life is so fragile.
Right. And we only get for
You don't get to come here and do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Make the best of what you have.
Right. Absolutely.
And Tasha, travel smart, because I ain't forgot you.
Yeah, travel smart.
Yes.
Like we said,
definitely.
do the self-defense tools, learn a self-defense class,
Yeah.
Right.
keep
Go to
checking
the
your
range.
doors, get you an alarm, get you a whistle, get your mace, whatever you need to get.
Pistol. Oh, pistol. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have to arm ourselves in this day and
Right,
time.
for real,
We
for real.
really do.
Yeah.
It's so important that we do. But
Mhm.
Tasha, we don't want you to walk around in fear.
Right.
'Cause,
Definitely not.
that's something that God, he hasn't given us the spirit of fear.
Right.
And so we want to be bold in our walk.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
if you got to take some defense class, be bold in taking your defense class.
Right.
And all the mace and the tasers and whatever
Right.
your objects are, you
Whatever
take.
you need.
Be bold in it.
Mhm.
Get you some lessons. It's okay to spend a little bit of money, go take some
Right.
karate lessons or
Right.
boxing lessons
Mhm.
because you trying to protect you because we don't always have the male figure
Right.
walking with us all the time.
Right. Mhm.
Or being in the house that
Right.
that we're in.
Yeah.
There's sometimes the houses they shift, they crack through the night, or maybe the heat came on and
Right.
you heard
The
a
door
sound.
shut, or
Yeah,
the door open.
yeah.
Mhm.
You
Okay,
hear
hold up
sound.
now. Hold up, I hear those shit.
Well, if it's
I'm getting
it,
up.
it does.
No, it does that from the heat.
It
definitely
does when
that.
when it
Y'all
comes
throw
on.
shit?
Yeah,
If it's like close to being shut, and the heat or the air kick on, it can suction and
It can
close the door.
That's it. That's what I was looking for. Suction. It'll close it.
Oh, no.
And
No.
yes, it will. And so we have
My don't shut, I'm getting up.
But that's only if it's like that right there.
Right.
And you know that.
And we ain't talking about, Mama, you got all these glass doors and stuff. We ain't talking about these heavy 200-pound
yeah,
doors.
we not talking
Okay?
about them kind of
We
doors.
talking about the little cheap
Yeah,
30-pound doors.
that's it
Okay?
right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh no, if it be, that don't open, you better be ready for something. Cause I'm coming for you.
But yeah, you would hear sounds,
Right.
and sometimes like, crazy thing, I have a ring, the ring doorbell thing,
Mhm.
and so sometimes I would hear it barely. One of the doors, my front door, I hear it like regular sound. The back door, it don't sound like the front door. That's I can tell which
Two
one
different
they
sounds,
at, right?
right.
And so I thought somebody was coming to the house at a certain time and ringing my doorbell, but it wasn't. It was something with the ring thing, And so but it scared me. Like, who is coming? And thank God when you have that ring thing, you looking at it on your camera on your phone, and so I was able to look out and see that nobody was there.
Right.
But I didn't want to hear that or be woken to that because somebody is ringing.
Oh, you talking about the chime?
Yeah, that
Oh,
thing.
okay.
And so, but yeah, that thing was bothering me, until I knew it. I happened to be sitting in the car one day, and Jaden just juked the door open. And he come out and he just looking all crazy like somebody rang the doorbell, and as when he told me, he said somebody rang. I said no, because he knew I was sitting in the car. Like no, it does that. And he just looked so strange, But yeah, but anyway, we know our house is gonna crack because it's gonna shift and all this kind of stuff. But you definitely don't want to be, having fear on you and stuff. Or even just being walking in fear, but always make sure that you got you're aware of your surroundings. Cause I have a habit of, I don't really look at people like that. When I see them come up, they like, hey, how you doing or whatever, or I don't speak to them, but and then I don't think about them no more. But it will be wise for me to like make sure I got a good look at the person that I'm passing, or whatever. If I'm walking out the store and I'm seeing that person, and make sure my head is saying, okay, we got a red shirt on, blue pants, something about that person, features and stuff like that. Because that is so important right there.
And it might not just help you, it might help somebody else.
Somebody else.
Something else may have just happened. And
Exactly.
that person walked right by you, and you could have told them what kind of car they got in and everything, but you wasn't paying attention.
Wasn't paying attention. And you can always spaz out on somebody. You see somebody coming your way to harm you, act like you're crazy. Just start slanging and just moving all wild. All this stuff.
Start speaking in
Yeah.
tongues.
That would probably be me right there. I'll probably just go speaking in tongue and calling fire down from heaven and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah, but Tasha, do whatever it is to make sure, you're at peace and, you're not walking around paranoid.
Right.
You want to be
Absolutely.
You want to be at peace, whether that's at home or, you're in the car, on the way to the grocery store, whatever, walking in the grocery store. You just don't want to be alarmed. You want to be comfortable and
Get you some motion lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the mental out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And also, pray before you go out.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
And ask for protection.
Right.
Yeah.
While you're out and about. Because
Right.
things do happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the best thing you can do, be armed with prayer. But let me tell you, don't pull it if you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
true.
just, you know what to do. Be safe.
Right.
Be aware. Be focused. Your phone can wait till you get home to get into it.
Right.
Absolutely.
'Cause that's why all you do, everybody, everywhere you go, even when they walk across the street, ain't looking up, ain't paying
Right.
attention, just,
Right.
and that's what they designed to do, cause
Yeah.
of distraction.
Yeah.
And with
So-
all the devices and stuff, just make sure we are following, the correct precautions for those devices
Right.
as well. If they need to be charged, ain't no point in having it if it's gonna be dead.
Right.
right.
You
When
can't,
you need it.
right, and you can't zap nobody,
Right.
Ain't no point of carrying, the weapon if you don't got no bullets,
Right.
for it, or the safety, you don't know how to turn off the safety, like, you gotta know what you're doing, with this stuff. So make sure we are taking the proper steps when we are using these, tools, for our safety as well.
Yes. Well, we hope we helped you out a little bit, Tasha. You can always write in again. And anybody else that might be trying to figure out, how to navigate in these times, days and times. As for these men, again, when they show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Don't be so quick to jump into a situationship with somebody that you really don't know.
Right.
Spend some time, spend some years, even if you have to, getting to know that person before you jump into a situation.
Right.
Because a lot of men, after they done spent, in their mind, they done gave you their all, trying to impress you, trying to get to know you, and then you turn your back on them and get with somebody else, they can't take that. That's a rejection to them.
Right.
They can't take it. So that could be one of the reasons that they lose it.
Right.
Not saying that's an excuse.
Right, which is another self thing for them,
Yeah.
but it happens. It
Yeah.
definitely happens.
Absolutely.
So just take care of yourself and just be watchful. And we hope somebody got something out of this,
Yes.
even if it's just one person.
Mm-hmm.
And when y'all see some situations going down out there, don't just take your phone out and record.
Right.
Help somebody.
Right.
somebody.
Absolutely.
Do something.
Do something.
Just stop.
Or pray if you ain't gonna do
Right.
nothing. Pray.
Yeah, I mean,
You
come
know?
on, y'all.
Yeah.
That could be your people.
That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And ain't nobody saying, if somebody got a weapon, ain't nobody saying come and try to take the weapon out their hand. If you know your strength ain't there, then don't be trying to do something that you know
Right.
you're not capable of doing. But if dial
Help
911 instead of pulling out your phone and
Yeah.
recording, dial 911. You
Help
know,
save a life.
Right.
Yeah.
Go and get somebody big and strong, a couple of people that can probably jump in and
Yeah.
help. Like, do something productive that could possibly help, because
Right.
recording is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And notice details. If you can't do nothing else, you can at least say what you saw.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Or,
Because again,
talk to
be
them.
your
Talk
people.
to the person. Try to convince the person to stop whatever they're doing. Like,
Right.
even just be that voice of reason. That you might not. Yeah, you don't know. You might not know that person. That person might not know you. And even if you do know that person, try to talk that person down. Because if they do know you, they're gonna listen to you before they listen to
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
else.
Absolutely.
So instead of sitting there recording for your friend, try to talk your friend down.
Recorded for the gram.
Right, and get them down and get them down back to wherever they supposed to be, to their sanity, and quit acting a monkey.
Right.
Yeah. Because, at some point we got to stop saying, and I'm not saying prayer's not good, so don't take it like that. Prayer's always good. That's the best thing you can do, like I said.
Right.
But at this day and age, it's gonna take more than that.
Yeah.
Don't
Take
say
some
after
action,
the
too.
situation done happened, when you could have did something while that
Right.
person was here,
Right.
after they dead,
Right.
unalive, then you gonna say, well, we're gonna pray for you. What was your prayer before?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Like, do something.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. Y'all stay safe out there before I go off on a tangent. Anyway, this has been another episode of Check That Post podcast. And I love y'all.
I love you too. Yeah.
Follow us on all social media at Check That Post podcast. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know every time we upload a new episode. You can write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com or text 866-311-2251. And hope you enjoyed it. Are you calling 911?
We had a caller.
Check your post. Make sure you're still alive.